Hi everyone, my name's Jenny Wallace and I'm an ELT teacher and level leader at UTS Insearch in Sydney. This is my IA-TEFL presentation for Brighton 2018. At UTS Insearch, we've been running an action research program for the last 3 years, so that's what I'm going to talk to you about in today's presentation. If you'd like a PDF copy of my slides, then you can scan the code on the screen or go to the link there, and there's my email address there too if you'd like to send me an email if neither of those things work. I'd like to start by thanking some important people. So really importantly, I'd like to thank English Australia and Cambridge English Assessment, because the UTS Insearch Action Research Programme is based on the English Australia Action Research Programme, which if you're in Australia, I'm sure you've heard of before. So we're really indebted to those two institutions for our inspiration. And of course, in connection with that, Professor Anne Burns, who runs the English Australia programme, and Dr. Emily Edwards, who started the programme at UTS Insearch 3 years ago. I'd also like to thank McGregor Haynes, my Director of Studies. He's been running the programme with me, and without him I wouldn't have been able to get to the point of presenting it at IA-TEFL. So these are the points that I'm going to cover in today's presentation. I'm going to briefly touch on action research at the start. I'm going to assume some knowledge of action research for this presentation. If you'd like to know more about the process of action research, I've included my references at the end. I strongly recommend that you take a look at those. Then I'm going to talk a little bit about UTS, the institution and the context of UTS Insearch. I'll tell you about the design of our action research programme. Then I'll speak about the roles of both the institution and the coordinator. And then I'd like to tell you about the participants and our programme outcomes, and finish talking about some areas for growth and improvement with my references at the end. So what then is action research? Well, you can see a number of keywords on the screen there. It's an approach to classroom inquiry in which teachers plan an intervention to address an issue or a problem in their classroom, implement their plan, observe what happens, and then reflect. This process of planning, acting, observing, and reflecting is cyclical. Of course, teachers make these kinds of practical adjustments in their teaching on a daily basis, but action research differs from this in that it's a systematic approach to this intervention. Unavoidably, teacher researchers are participants in their own research. So this insider status actually gives teachers greater insight or insider knowledge in their research environment. This is an advantage of action research, I believe. Action research really equips teachers with the tools to explore an issue present in their own classroom. And really importantly for my presentation today, action research has been called transformative, empowering, democratizing, and a powerful agent of educational change. And this is what we've really seen at UTS Insearch and what I'm going to discuss. So perhaps you already know about UTS Insearch, but very briefly, UTS Insearch is the premium pathway provider to the University of Technology Sydney in New South Wales, and our ELT courses are mainly English for academic purposes. That's what I teach. Our students are mainly from East and Southeast Asia, and we have many teachers from a wide variety of backgrounds and a wide variety of different levels of experience too. So a really eclectic workplace. I'm very lucky to work at UTS Insearch. So based in this institution then, perhaps you can recognise some similarities with your own school. This is the action research programme that we've set up. So as I've mentioned, our programme is based on the English Australia Action Research Programme, which is run by Professor Anne Burns. Our programme was set up by Dr. Emily Edwards in 2015. We run it once a year, and every year around about February, we invite teachers to participate. Although we don't set a limit for the number of people that we say can participate, we usually have around 6 projects. And running the program are the coordinator, which at the moment is me, and our director of studies. And I think it's really important that one of the people running the program has experience of undertaking an action research project. I was lucky enough to participate in the English Australia Action Research Programme in 2013. This year, we're also expanding our programme to include teachers in our centres in East and Southeast Asia. And we've also invited people with previous action research experience to mentor a participant. And I should stress, all participation in this programme is voluntary. So we're very lucky to have as many people as we do participating. And I'll just show you a graphic outline of our programme here. You can see it takes place over a 10-month period in Sydney, beginning in February and finishing in November. In our offshore centres, these months change. At UTS Insearch, we're lucky enough to have 4 professional development days a year. And you can see them here as the 3 workshops and the presentations at the end. On the first 3 professional development days, we have action research workshops, which I run. These are an opportunity for the participants to meet together, discuss their projects, and learn more about the process of action research. So you can see in workshop 1, the workshop that we've just had, we had an introduction to action research, and I talked about how participants might explore the topics they're interested in and formulate their research question. On the final professional development day, the participants present their projects to their colleagues, and that will be in November. This year, we've just introduced the mentoring element of the programme. You can see that underneath the participants in this graphic here. On our first professional development day of the year a few weeks ago, the mentors met and had a mentoring training session. And then we paired mentors with participants. Our plan is that they'll meet at least once formally before the next workshop, one-on-one. And perhaps the mentors will also offer ad hoc support. As I've already mentioned, we haven't tried this on a larger scale before, so we'll see what happens. So this leads me on now to talk more about the roles of the coordinator and the institution. So my role in running the programme involves a lot of admin. I manage our email group, I organise meetings and rooms, I set and manage deadlines. My role also involves providing support and advice about research. For example, I suggest resource books for teachers. I also give guidance on how to access our university library. If teachers ask me to edit and proofread journal articles or conference abstracts, I'm very happy to do that. I've read and edited very many of those. And also, I enjoy celebrating successes with teachers when their research goes to plan, but I'm also a sounding board, a critical ear, and if you've done action research before, you'll know that participants also need a shoulder to cry on, so I've done that too. And I like to think of myself as an advocate for teachers if they need anything from our managers. So the institution has a crucial role in the action research programme too. Teachers need time when they're researching, time to plan, time to go through the data they've collected, time to think, time to share ideas, access to knowledge, whether that be people or resources. Flexibility. So at UTS Insearch, this means teachers being able to request a particular timetable or a particular level and managers trying to work around that if possible. And again, social support, so interest from managers, asking questions. How's your research going? What exactly have you been doing? Have you found out about? I found this is really valuable for participants to know that their work is being valued by their institution. So I'd like to tell you about the people that have been involved in UTS Insearch's Action Research Programme. So these are the people that I've had the pleasure of working with over the last 3 years. Here you can see the 2015, 16 and 17 programmes. And this year's programme has just started again with at least 6 participants. We're not sure quite how many just yet, so we've just started. And over the years, we've had, I think, 23 participants, of course, all in Australia, but with backgrounds in 8 different countries, with a wide range of years of experience, both teachers and learning support staff, and in Australia mainly, but also we've had 2 participants in our offshore centres, so we're really lucky to be expanding our range a little bit. So most importantly, I think, for what you want to see from this presentation are the programme outcomes. So I'll start with the programme outcomes for teachers. Every year at the end of the programme, we ask participants to complete a questionnaire so that we can continue to build on the success that we've had. I ask the teachers what they feel have been the personal outcomes of participation in the programme. From the 3 years that we've received feedback, I have identified 4 general themes in teachers' answers. First, teachers mentioned that participation had really helped them to introduce creativity into their teaching. I think this is really important for motivation, particularly if you're teaching academic courses that you've taught a number of times before. Related to this, teachers also felt that participation pulled them out of their comfort zone. I really found this when I undertook my own action research project. Comfort zone related perhaps to teaching approaches, techniques, or even using materials. One of the great benefits of action research too is that it trains teachers in formalized approaches to classroom exploration. And a number of teachers commented that they appreciated being trained in the skills to approach a classroom issue in a systematic, objective way, and to consider the number of different perspectives with which they might look on an issue in their classroom. Finally, one of the most frequently mentioned programme outcomes for teachers was how much they enjoyed and benefited from working with their colleagues, whether it be other participants of the programme or colleagues they worked with in the staff room, interviewing or asking for advice. I think that this last one has been of particular benefit to the collegiality in our classroom. In our staff room, sorry. In addition to this greater atmosphere of collegiality, there's also wider engagement with research, both the research projects of colleagues at our school and other schools in Sydney and Australia, and more widely too, as well as the presentation each participant makes at the final professional development day of the year. Many participants have also gone on to do further presentations and workshops, and some have even gone on to present at national and international conferences. Perhaps you can see the small picture there of some of my colleagues presenting at Kam Tesol in Cambodia. We also ask that participants write a summary of their research project. So I don't know if this will work. Oh, there we go. So you can see there the summary that two of my colleagues have written of their action research project. And some teachers have even gone on to publish their work in peer-reviewed journals. So that would be the University of Sydney papers in TESOL and the English Australia Journal as well. So we're really proud of all of these achievements. With all of this said, and as proud as we are of these achievements, we hope to continue growing and improving. As I've already mentioned, after a trial last year, this year we're going to open our program to our centres overseas in East and Southeast Asia. So I'm hoping that we'll be able to get participants from an even wider range of education and teaching backgrounds. I hope that the introduction of mentors into the program will help spread the benefits of being involved in action research to a wider group of people, as there are great benefits to mentoring others in using the action research approach. I also would like to work more on collaboration between action research participants. So the reference there, you can see Borg 2017 found that there were the most successful teacher research is one that is achieved through more collaboration. So I'd like to see teachers working together on action research projects. And I'm also focused on integrating the positive impacts of action research more fully into our school. Edwards and Burns in 2016 found that this is vital for the sustainability of the benefits of action research. So this is going to be one of my main focuses going forward into 2018. Here are some of those references that I mentioned in my presentation. So the text that I have used most for action research is Burns 2010, doing action research in English language teaching. You can see a number of other texts there too, which are more generally about action research in education. And there's 2 journal articles I referred to at the end as well. As I've already mentioned, if you have any questions for me or if you'd like a copy of this presentation, please don't hesitate to send me an email, and thank you very much for watching.